Today marks 5 years of Mikel Arteta, also a similar height to me, at Arsenal. The Premier League's third longest serving manager, English professional football's fourth longest serving manager. Arsenal fans, what defines his legacy so far? Was it the Aubameyang fallout, the arrival of Odegaard, the ousting of Aaron Ramsdale, a ruthless call to bring in David Raya, the set-piece routines, being the nearly men, or is it making Arsenal relevant again? After years when they were sort of the team that always just reached the top four or just about finished in the European places, they're now back to contesting titles. They haven't won anything yet. They've won the FA Cup once and 3 Community Shields, as he pointed out earlier in the week, which he did claim as trophies. But they are more relevant now than they have been in the last sort of 6-7 years before that.
Absolutely. Obviously pushed City so close last season and the year before. I think we all felt, certainly you and I both tipped them to win the title this year. I don't think we saw Liverpool and Arne Slot coming over the horizon. I think they'll be frustrated that when Man City have dropped off like never before in recent years, they've not quite yet been able to capitalise. But what he's done is, I think what Ruben Amorim is going to have to do at Manchester United is cleanse the dressing room, raise the standards, got the fans back on board, reunited them with the football club. Because if you remember, around about the time of the European Super League, I was there. They played Everton, I seem to recall, and there were big protests against the Cronkies outside the ground. Those criticisms and those protests have been silenced, and it's a good place to go and watch football, the Emirates.
Arsenal have been runners-up in the past 2 Premier League seasons. Last season, they enjoyed a record-breaking campaign, 89 points, 28 wins, 91 goals, both record totals for the club. This season, they're 6 points off the title race in third. Can they catch up, Liverpool?
I think it's difficult. I think it's the draws that have undermined them. What is it, 6 draws in 16 so far?
They haven't been at their best, right?
No.
And Liverpool haven't had a proper dip yet, have they? That probably will come. I'm actually doing Barcelona Atletico Madrid tomorrow night. And if you had said 2 months ago, you looked at the table 2 months ago, you would have just basically given up, thrown away the betting slips. It's only Barcelona. Barcelona had a 14-point lead. They're all level now, 38 points each.
It can happen, but I just think Liverpool have got it in their armoury this season to grind out results, because I don't think in a lot of the games they've been at their best either. I was at Southampton, for example, when they had to come from behind and won 3-2 without ever really hitting top gear. Fulham last week at home should have been a banker. They lose Andy Robertson to a very early red card and still managed to find a way to grind out a point. So I think it's tough. And also, Arsenal have still got to go to Anfield. Obviously, echoes of that famous Mickey Thomas moment back in the day, but they've already played Liverpool at home and not beaten them. So I think it's difficult for Arsenal. I think the gap's too big. I think Chelsea are Liverpool's main threat for the title.
Don't be silly.
I do.
5 years of Arteta at Arsenal. That's quite a long time for a Premier League manager.
And only 1 trophy. That's the negative.
But there's a lot of positives too. So how do you view it, Arsenal fans? What do you take away from those 5 years? What's the legacy that he's left so far? What defines his reign? 03717 223344. That's if you want to call us, or if you want to WhatsApp us, you can text us on 81089. After 3 years of going close, are the Gunners having a dip this time around? Is it just a different type of season this time around? Will the Arteta project argument start to look fragile if one of the new boys, like Chelsea or Liverpool, win the title in their debut seasons with new managers, Maresca and Arne Slot? Does that mean that not necessarily they have been built up for long-term success and they've just had a really good start? How do you view it? 03717 223344. Because if Slot comes in with half of maybe all of Jurgen Klopp's team, reshapes them and gets them to fight for the title, what does that say about Arteta? That they're not moving fast enough?
It says they haven't got Mo Salah. Mo Salah playing probably as well as he ever has done.
Brings up the argument about goals again, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And we got shot down. I don't think you were there, actually, but Troy and I got shot down by Martin Keown when we were talking about Kai Havertz and saying there were still a lot of doubters, and Keown was saying, well, there aren't any doubters. I think there are now, because his goals have dried up. And those tight games, away from home against Fulham, home to Everton last week when they absolutely dominated possession, but
what about
couldn't
Jesus
put the ball in the net.
Scoring a hat-trick in midweek?
Yeah, I think
everybody will say now he's the answer. I actually spoke to him, by the way, the other night, and he was brilliant. It was a brilliant interview. 10 minutes he gave us. He sat down, he just had a good old chat, and he was saying why are you lot obsessing about the fact that we don't score enough goals? You know what else we do in the game? There's so much else that we have to do. We can't. It's not just about goals. Other people get the goals, maybe, but I might make an assist, or I might. He said people were too obsessed with statistics and top level statistics. He said actually our contributions to the games is so much more than just that.
Yeah, I get that argument, but the statistics when it comes to Arsenal, are that in the tight games this season, the ones where they've been decided by fine margins, they haven't scored enough goals. And I think, as I say, they've not lost many games, but those draws will come back to haunt them. I can see them dropping points at Selhurst Park this weekend. I could see that being another frustrating draw. I know Adrian Darren has made reference to the fact they, went a whole season unbeaten because they drew so many games. Is this the new Invincibles? Obviously, it's not, because they've already been beaten. But if they had signed a striker, I think they'd have a better chance. But it's easier said than done.
Of course it is.
I don't think it's that Mikel Arteta didn't want to sign a striker.
He couldn't find the right one.
They met with Ivan Toney, decided that wasn't a deal they wanted to pursue. He's in Saudi Arabia now, which probably tells you that none of the top teams in this country were that serious about signing him. Dominic Solanke was mentioned. He's gone to Spurs. Heard Leanne Sanderson with you on commentary last night saying the jury's still out in terms of whether he is that elite level striker.
I think he's made a good start.
Yeah, I do as well. But is he going to be the difference between winning and losing the title? I'd say not. And then all the talk is of Victor Gyökeres, and we had this debate on the Inside Devils show when it comes to Manchester United. Yeah, he looks great. His numbers look great.
He's playing at Sporting.
Why did Brighton let him go? Well, they don't make many mistakes when it comes to recruitment.
Coventry as well. You're at Coventry City. Are you going to really make the jump from Coventry City to Arsenal? That's not going to happen. He's going to have to go via somewhere else.
But he didn't make the jump to any Premier League club,
he went
did
to
he?
Sporting, and he's done brilliantly at Sporting, and that might well be the next step that he had to take on a road to greater things.
But he's going to cost you 80 million quid.
Alexander Sorloth, who's playing for Atletico Madrid now, when he came to Crystal Palace, it was too early for him. He's gone off elsewhere. He's now at Atletico after 2 good seasons with Villarreal and others in Spain, and he's turned his career around. He's actually a really useful asset for Atletico.
But he's not going to win you the title, is he, Sorloth?
No, but what I'm saying is that Gyökeres would never have been the right fit for Arsenal at that time. If he is going to be a player that's going to be very, very good in the future, then there's still development steps that he needs to go in. Look at Rasmus Højlund. He's got a long way to go before he is. And he's got potential, but he cost 65 million quid.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's not that easy to find a number 9. The one who I think is perfectly suited to Arsenal, but his injury record and the type of money that he wants in terms of wages and what Newcastle want
Callum Wilson
is a barrier. Alexander Isak is perfect for Arsenal, but he doesn't stay fit. So it's a gamble.
He does stay fit.
How
many games has he played?
He misses a lot of games. Gets a lot of injuries.
He's played almost every game this
I've not
season.
got the stats in front of me. He certainly missed games this season. He missed a lot last season.
Scott is an Arsenal fan. Ricky is an Arsenal fan. We'll get to them. What defines the Arsenal legacy of Mikel Arteta so far? Aubameyang fallout I thought was quite ruthless. So was the Aaron Ramsdale axing. He wanted somebody else. The arrival of Odegaard obviously had a massive, massive impact. The set-piece routines, he's empowered Nicolas Jovet to go and take charge of those. But they're nearly men at this point. Ricky, hello.
How are you doing, all right?
Yeah, very good, Ricky. I was at the game on Wednesday night. Arsenal fans very happy about getting through to a Carabao Cup semi-final, especially bearing in mind that they've won just 1 trophy under Arteta. How do you view him?
Well, we conceded 2 goals, which I'm not too happy about. Our defence is all over the place compared to last season. To be honest with you, I feel deflated. I'm not even excited to watch Arsenal at the moment. After the last 2 seasons, I was so excited. And look where Liverpool have picked us. We should be where Liverpool are. And if Arsenal don't win anything this season, Arteta needs to get the choppy chop, because we're taking a backward step. Man City have fallen down, and we're not capitalising on it.
Hold on. So when Arteta took over, I think you just lost the Europa League final to Chelsea. 4-1 in Baku, and then 6 months later he walked through the door. Since then you've won an FA Cup and you finished second twice in the Premier League. Are you saying if he doesn't win anything, you're really going to sack a manager that has made you relevant again?
Arsenal need to be progressing, and they have progressed. But if Liverpool win the league this season, then he needs to go.
Yeah, but you can get a moment in time, and the way that Mo Salah is playing, with the new contract talk as well, it might just be that it's destiny that Liverpool win the league. It's easy to say get rid of a manager, and listen, I eventually wanted Eric Ten Hag out of Manchester United.
You're the one who gets rid of them all.
Who'd you bring in? You want to sack Arteta? Who's going to replace him and win you the league?
I might be jumping the gun a bit.
Go on.
But I'm frustrated, and I am deflated.
Give me a name. You're going to sack Arteta at the end of the season. Who comes in and makes you champions?
Zinedine Zidane.
With his track record in English football.
He has won 3 Champions Leagues.
Doesn't mean he's suited to the Premier League.
No, it doesn't mean he'll take it either. He hasn't taken any other job, has he? Ricky, thank you very much. See what the other Arsenal fans think about that. 03717223344. I think that's quite a controversial call, actually, from Ricky, suggesting that if he doesn't win anything this season, he should be sacked. He actually said if Liverpool win the title, he should be sacked because he thinks they should be where Liverpool are. Jackson, not an Arsenal fan, he says, but Arteta has changed the face of Arsenal as a football club. Don't forget that when he came in, the club were a laughingstock. He got rid of Deadwood, removed the issues, and has made them competitive once again. Don't forget that Liverpool and City have been at this level for years, and they are beginning to upset the apple cart. He's a Norwich fan, actually. This is Scott, who is an Arsenal fan. He's on. Go for it.
All right, gents, how we doing?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, gents. What is that Ricky guy on?
Yeah, you can put it like that. Go on, what do you think?
What a ludicrous opinion, right? When Arteta took over, we just got rid of Emery, and I think the Norwich fan that you just referenced said that we were a laughing stock, and we were. Why would you get rid of him if Liverpool win the league? Look what he's done to the club. We were so disjointed 5 years ago, and look where we are now. Okay, we haven't necessarily got over the line, but to get rid of him would just be stupid. Absolutely stupid. I think the decisions that he's made, getting rid of Ramsdale, I think was the right decision. Obviously, signing Martin Odegaard has been a massive factor in the turnaround of the club. But if we finish second again this year, why would you get rid of him? As you said, who else is out there? Who are we going to get? Zidane. Behave.
Scott, thank you very much. 03717223344. Ryan is an Arsenal fan. Go for it.
How you doing?
Good, thanks, pal.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, it's just a number of things this season. I think we had a very poor transfer window, and we haven't been as lucky with the injury side of things, and a few of the players that have been in form over the last couple of seasons have fell off the cliff. With getting rid of Arteta if we don't win things, look, every club wants to win stuff. I really want to go for the League Cup, to be honest, because I do think the league is maybe out of reach. I agree with Alex about Chelsea probably being Liverpool's closest rivals at the moment. But yeah, look, we've got to win something. Football's about winning things, and I just hope that he can take us there, but I'm not confident he will.
Why are you not confident?
He just, over the last couple of seasons, we've been so close, and we've had wobbles at moments against teams that you should, we've done really well.
But you can learn from that, right? Okay, so those experiences hold you in good stead. So even though you've had a setback this year, there's still a route for you, isn't there?
Look, there's a long, long way to go, and anything could happen. Liverpool get a couple of injuries to their key players. Chelsea are the side that worry me, to be honest. A lot of people keep laughing them off. And I remember
they're too young. They're too young. As Jason Cundy says, they're a little horse, Ryan. They're a little horse. They've got a long way to go.
They're the biggest club in London, apparently. So,
well, they've won more European Cups than Arsenal. Yeah, that's true.
They have. I'm a bit jealous of Chelsea's history, to be honest. If you look back over it, we've got a very good one as well, but they've won the big boys, so... Yeah, but it's a positive. We're back to where we want to be. I just hope it takes us to either the Premier League or the Champions League.
Okay. Ryan, have a good Christmas, mate. Thank you very much for calling us. Right, we're going to do this thing where we get 1 point from every single person who's called us in the last few minutes. And by the way, our board is full, right? Okay, we're going to do this. 1 point from everybody who comes on. Bobby, Arsenal fan, you're up next. Go for it. What's your point?
You're all right, mate. I sort of see it the same way as what Southgate did for England. He brought back the enjoyment of watching England. So Arteta did that with Arsenal, but Southgate took us so far. Arteta's done the same with Arsenal, and I feel like we need someone else to take us to the next level.
Wow. Okay, cheers, Bobby. Thank you very much. Dave is an Arsenal fan in Essex. What's your point?
Hello, guys. So I don't think you've mentioned about the point with Edu going at the end of the season. I don't think Edu has left. I think Edu has been politely pushed towards the door. The Arsenal sort of way, that's kind of what we do. We don't sack as such. I think the writing's on the wall for Arteta on that front, because we all know we're missing a striker. It's clear on the pitch. A striker wasn't brought pre-season, and I think Arteta knows that. So unless they have a a successful sort of January getting a player in, I think he'll go.
Okay, Dave, thank you very much. Michael's an Arsenal fan. Quickly, go for it.
I think that currently we're nearly men at the moment, but I actually think that we've got everything we already need to win the league. I think that Liverpool will drop points because they've had too good a start to continue. And I think if we go on a run like City did last season, which we're capable of doing, we'll catch them.
Okay, let's see. Michael, optimistic. I like that. Sam's an Arsenal fan. Go for it. Your point?
Hi, mate. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go for it. What's your point?
Getting rid of Mikel Arteta would be the worst thing Arsenal's done since 1886.
Okay, fair enough. Sam?
To the point on that
We
one.
like it. If he's an Arsenal fan, go for it.
I don't know what these guys are on about getting rid of Arteta. I just don't understand it. I mean, he's done so much for us in the 5 years. You look at the academy, you look at the players that he's bringing through, the players that he's bought. He hasn't made any mess-ups on players. So I don't understand it. And like you said, who are you going to bring in? There's no one to bring in. And he's Arsenal through and through. And we've seen that. And we're going to see that. And mark my words, we're going to win the Premier League this season.
Okay. Well, it's a bold claim, but I don't think it's against the realms of possibility. I've already said this to you. I said it to you, back end of October? I said to you Arsenal win the league, didn't I?
You did? You standing by that?
I'm standing by it. Sam, finally, you're the last one to have your views on this. Well, how would you rate the Arteta era out of 10?
Gentlemen, I would rate the Arteta era, due to the circumstances, a genuine 8 out of 10. And let me tell you that it's soon to be a 10 out of 10. I can't quite believe what I'm hearing for these other Arsenal fans. You've got to stick with him. You'll thank us in 10 years when we've won X amount of Premier Leagues, because he is not the problem. All the time we've got Martinelli at the left wing. And do you know what I mean? It's never going to happen. We have to sign a striker. We can't have Martinelli on the left wing. He's not good enough. I genuinely don't even think he's a top 6 winger. I don't believe it. Striker, it's not happening. I like Havertz. I think he's good. He works hard. Is he a Premier League winning? You can talk about his Champions League goal and all these things, but he's not a Premier League title winning striker. We need someone who's going to bag 20, 25 goals a season.
Sam, thank you very much. Look, we got through a few there, didn't we? Got the Arsenal fans to give their voice.
That was great. But nobody can suggest who they would bring in to replace Arteta.
Well, why would you want to replace him? I think he's great. I
do think there's a bit of pressure on him.
Do you?
No, I don't.
You've had a few sort of spats with him. You're a bit funny about him. You're not convinced.
No, we're fine. I think you're a bit short in post-match interviews, but no, I've always found him very pleasant.
I like him. I think he's got something about him.
Yeah, but I do think sooner or later he's got to put something tangible in the trophy cabinet.
Do. If you keep going in this direction, they will do. You know, they've won an FA Cup. They've won 3 Community Shields. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
03717223344. They may win the League Cup this time around. They've got
I think they should target the League Cup
against Newcastle.
They should target that.
They've got Champions League football to worry about as well. They look like they're going to get through in that competition. You know, FA Cup, got a big game in the FA Cup, haven't they? Who are they playing in the FA Cup?
Well, they're into the 4th round and they've got a bye, basically.
You're listening to White and Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Is where the trade go.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.